Welcome back. Welcome back, Gilad. You were talking about the Judaism, the Jewishness, the Zionism. How can you elaborate more on these particular concepts?
It is very important to differentiate all those J notions. Judaism, the religion, it's a spiritual code. I myself don't deal much with Judaism, and it is also very important to mention that Jewish religious collective have never been in the history of the Jews a sinister, murderous collective. And by the way, a lot of people, Palestinians, are fully aware of the fact that they weren't, because they were living with Palestinian Jews for so many, pre 48. My family were in the region from the 19th century, and it was very peaceful. So Judaism is the spirit. The Jews are the people. I never talk about the Jews, Yahud. I never talk about the Jews because I don't talk about people. Now, one of the biggest difference between my work and my predecessors is that a lot of quite intelligent writers and academics wrote about the Talmud. For instance, one of the most important, most interesting writer was Israel Shachak, who elaborated on the Talmud and pointed out at the deep goy-hating teaching within the Talmud. And yet, there is a problem, because most Jews don't know the Talmud. Israelis don't know the Talmud, and they don't study the Talmud except of the religious. The crimes in Palestine were committed largely by secular Jews. Zionism is a secular school. It is only after 1967 that the Messianic Jewish movement was formed and followed the teaching of the Rabbi Kook. So I'm actually arguing here that the problem that we are facing is actually with secular Jewish identity. And it's not Judaism. It's not the Jews, because not all the Jews follow this ideology. The Jews who play in my band, they are Jews by ethnicity, but they don't follow this identity. And here I've managed to define three categories that are very crucial for my work. I'm talking about Jewish identity politics. And what is identity? A form of identification. I ask, what does it mean to be identified as a Jew?
You don't identify yourself as a Jew?
No, definitely not.
So if you're not a Jew, what are you then?
I'm many things, but definitely don't identify as a Jew. I'm a jazz musician, I'm a father, I'm a thinker, I'm a writer.
So this is your identity.
I don't like to talk in terms of identity because I don't have to identify. I don't have to identify as a jazz musician because I have enough concerts as a jazz musician all over the world. So I don't have to say, I am a jazz musician. I don't have to have a badge. I don't have to have a flag. But some people need to identify.
Why are you hated by them and by others at the same time? I mean, even some other organizations, let's say, the movements like the BDS movement, the boycott, divestment and sanctions, they have a problem with Gilad Atzmon.
Because when someone presents the truth in a very simple manner, because the truth is usually very simple, quite a few people realized that they were lying for more than a while. As you probably notice, no one until now stood up and said, Gilad, you got your facts wrong. You say A, but it's actually B. Nobody has ever stood up and said, Gilad, you got your fact wrong. Gilad, your argument is flawed.
No rebuttal against your
They always
facts.
say, Gilad, you know, we want Gilad to be silent. They want Gilad to be silent because if I'm correct, they are wasting our time. Now, I'm very dangerous for some of the lefty speakers within this discourse, because I was the first one who in 2006 congratulated the Hamas. Because for me it was very clear that if I'm in a solidarity with the Palestinian people, I have to respect the Palestinian democratic choice. The Jews went to chew me then. The same people who stood up against me now were the first people who stood up against me in 2006. I was the first one to congratulate the Hezbollah for its success. And I do understand that Islam is the leading anti-imperial force, not 12 leftists in Acne. I think that if left wants to be relevant, it has to bond immediately with the people who lead the resistance in this world.
How has this harsh criticism of Gilad Atzmon's ideas and beliefs, how has this stopped you from expressing your ideas so frankly?
It didn't stop me, and it cannot stop me. Why it cannot stop me? Because these lobbies are operating within...
Not only from the left-wingers, but also from the right-wingers.
No, for sure. All those lobbies are operating within political discourse. I'm not interested in political discourse. I've never in my life been a member of any party. I'm a musician. I meet thousands of people every week. And I write my thoughts, and I'm read by tens of thousands every day. And no one can stop me. The only thing that they do manage to do, bless them, is to expose themselves as book burners.
People who like your politics or your music?
People who like both my politics and my music. Not everyone who likes my... I don't think that anyone can... I think that everybody likes my
because
music.
In the debate about your book on one of the American TV networks, they said that you're a good saxophonist, but don't try politics because
So I think that my views, as I said, have never been challenged. And by the way, I'm looking forward to be challenged. Recently, I was challenged by Professor Norton Mezevinsky, who is probably the biggest expert on Jewish issues, and he had some points that was considering. It's not that I'm free of mistakes. I'm a human being. We are moving away from fear. If the people in Al Tahrir said, we lost our fear, we feel the same. I lost my fear. So many people around us lost their fears.
Gilad, how do you see the future of the Arab-Israeli conflict, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict?
This is how I end my book. I think that we are moving towards a one state, a state of its citizens, and it is obvious that this state won't be called Israel. It will be Palestine. It is very clear that Israel cannot lead such a move because it must de-Zionize itself or de-Jewishify itself, not to drift away from the Jewish ideology, Jewish secular ideology of supremacy. And I don't see them doing it voluntarily, but I think that the Palestinians will lead such a move. It is not going to be a political change. It is the facts on the ground. It is the facts on the ground. The majority of the people between the inhabitants, between the river and the sea, are Palestinians now. And Israel won't be able to maintain its superiority forever.
Gilad Atzmon, thanks a million for this special edition from your house in London.
Shukran a million.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
لقاء جديد في الأسبوع المقبل ودائما من الداخل. إلى اللقاء.